Welcome back, aliens. My name is Davin Reddy, and in this video we're going to talk about JSP Directives. Now, as we have seen in JSP, we can use different tags, like we have Scriplet, then we have directives, we have declaration. Now, in directive itself, we have three types. The first one is @page, we have @include, and we have @taglib. In fact, we have seen an example of page. So when you want to import a package, when you want to specify the language, we can use @page. So if you want to specify something for the entire page, we don't do that in the Scriplet, we do that in directive. Now, example, importing a package, or maybe if you want to mention that this page handles the exception or not, you can use @page there. Now, if you want to use some other JSP file in your file, example, if you already have a JSP page, and if you want to include that page in your current page, you can use @include. And then we have Taglib. Now, as name suggests, it has something to do with tags and the library of tags. Now, what happens is when you talk about HTML, awesome language, right? But HTML has limited set of tags which you use. What if you want to use something very specific, something extra? Now, we can use external tags as well. Example, when you work with Spring Framework provides its own tags. Now, if you want to use those tags, we use @tag library. Again, we'll see a syntax for that. Now, let's focus on the first one, which is @page. Again, we'll be doing an example, but let's focus on the theory first. Now, if we talk about @page, which is the page tag, now page tag has a particular syntax, so we have to use @symbol, and that's very important. For directives, we have to use @symbol, and then we use page. Now, page mentioned that we want to specify something for the entire page, and the way you can specify that is by using attribute and a value. And we can have multiple attributes and those values. But what these attributes are? This is a list of attributes you can see. Now, this is not the entire list, we have some more attributes, but these are commonly used attributes which we use. Example, we have the first one, which is specifying the language. The scripting language in your JSP, and of course by default it will be Java. You don't have to even mention that. And why we'll be using different languages in JSP? So we have Java there. The next one is extends. Now, as we know, whatever JSP which we use gets converted into servlet, right? Now, what if you want to extend a particular class in your servlet? So the way you can do that in JSP is by mentioning the extends attribute and then the class name. What if you want to import some packages? Then we can use import statement. So we have to say import, and then we can specify the list. In fact, you can specify one package, or you can give a comma for multiple packages. Then we can also mention if you want to use sessions in your JSP. So if you don't want session, you can specify false. Then we have a concept of buffer. Now, sometimes you have a buffer concept. So if you are sending a data to a client, and if you have a buffer in place, it will not send the data till your buffer is full. The moment your buffer is full, then it will send data. What if you don't want your buffer to get full? I mean, what if you want to send data before your buffer gets full? We can use auto flush. Then we can specify the content type. Example, when you send a response to a client, it can be HTML page, it can be a image, it can be a PDF file. So you can mention the content type in this content type attribute. Then you can mention the error page. Now, example, when we will be talking about exception handling in future, but let's say if you want to specify the page which will be handling the exceptions, you can do that in error page. You can mention the page name here. And if you want to specify the current page's error page itself, then you can use is error page. You can set it true. Again, we'll be doing that in detail later, so let's not waste more time here. And if you want to specify some information about the page, you can do that here. We also have a concept of EL, which is expression language. Again, we'll talk about that later. But once we use EL, if you want to ignore EL, you can specify that here. And then we have thread safe concept. So if you want to make your JSP page thread safe, you can just make it true. So these are the attributes which you have for @page. Now, if you want me to show the example for that, it's very simple. Just go to your JSP. So I already have a JSP page here created, which is home.jsp. And if you want to use @page, you can see that we already have it. In fact, when you create a new JSP page in Eclipse, it will give you by default this page attribute. You don't have to mention that. So when you say page, you can specify the language. Again, this is optional. By default, it is Java, so don't have to mention that. And you can see if I go here, it says default value is Java, so you don't have to mention that. Then we have content type, which specifies that it is text or HTML, and we have page encoding as well, again, which is not needed. Now, if you want to specify some more attributes, you can do that here. So you can say, hey, I want to import a package. You can do that. So you can say import, and you can say equal to. In double quotes, you can mention the package which you want to import. Maybe I want to import as java.sql.star. You can simply do that. In fact, not just entire package. You can pick one interface if you want. So let's say if I want to use statement. Now again, it's not a good practice to use SQL queries in JSP page, but just for the example, it will work. So you can see I'm saying import java.sql.statement. What if you want to import more classes? It's very simple. Just say comma, and you can mention java.util.random. So you can mention these things here and it will work. What if you want to specify more imports? And sometimes it doesn't look good to import all the thing in one line. So you can actually write more import statements. So you can create another page tag, and we can do that. We can have multiple page tags, and then you can specify import, and whatever your package you want to import. Maybe I want to import java.util.addList. Maybe I want to use it. So you can do that. So you can have multiple import. Now import is the only attribute which you can use multiple times in your directive. Otherwise, for content type, for language, you have to set only once. Now, once we have done with the import, we can explore some more example. If I go back here, we can specify auto flush, we can specify error page. In fact, we'll be doing that later in detail, so let's not focus here. So we got our we know how to use page, and we know how to use import. Now if I go back to this, after page we have, so we also have an example here. You can see that. Now if I go for include, so the next one is include. Now what is include? Normally when you design a page, we have this habit, right? We create components. Example, every page will be having header, every page will be having a footer. So instead of writing code for header and footer in every page, what you can do is you can just write header code in one JSP, and you can include that JSP in our current JSP. Example, in this example, we have home.jsp, right? And then we have header.jsp. Let's say in header.jsp, if I write some code, let's say if I use equal to symbol, and if I say 7 plus 6, this is a Java code basically. I'm doing that here just to print a number 13 here. And then this header page, I want to include that in our current page. You can simply do that. You can just say you can say %@, and you can say include, and you can mention the page name, which is header.jsp, and that's done. So it will include your page here. Oh, syntax, it's file. So include is a tag, and then you have to use a file attribute, and it is done. And now if I run this code, let's try this. So if I will say run as an on server, I already have a Tomcat in place. Let's say next, let's click on finish, and it will open my page. Okay, you can see we got the output, and the output is 13. So this is not the code which we have written in home. We have written that code in header. So your header is getting included in the home page. So that's the beauty. You can use include tag. And then we have one more, which is Taglib. Now Taglib is something if you want to use external tags. Again, we'll not be discussing this example here. We'll be talking this once we go with extra advanced stuff in JSP. But let's say if you want to use external tags, what you can do is we have to mention the URI, because when you say external tags, of course, it will be having a library, and that library will have a URI. You have to mention that URI here, and then you can mention the prefix. Now, why prefix? Let's say if I want to use a tag here, which is, let's say, maybe Naveen tag, and we know that Naveen tag does not exist. Now, if your browser tried to interpret this Naveen tag, it will give you error. So for that, you have to mention. So we have to mention the prefix. So you have to say fx:9, which means this Naveen tag belongs to fx, which is this fx here. Again, this prefix can be anything. It can be A, B, or PQR, doesn't matter. So whatever prefix you mention here, you have to mention that here. So whenever I use Naveen, it means this Naveen belongs to this library, which is this URI. And in fact, if you want to use h1 tag, which belongs to HTML, but sometimes, let's say if you want to customize h1 tag, you want to have your own h1 tag, you can do that. So you can say h1 belongs to fx. So don't use h1 of HTML. Don't just use HTML. Just use h1 of my own library. So this is what you can do with taglibs. So these are the 3 directives we have in JSP. I hope you got something about directives here. Let me know in the comment section if you have any doubts, and that's it, everyone. We have these 3 attributes. Thank you so much for watching.